Hey everyone, how's it going? Thank you so much again for joining into my third podcast. You guys have been awesome. The feedback has been great. Even the criticism has been great. The support. Again, I'm just growing with you guys. We're starting a community, so I love the feedback that I'm getting. And I got some more ideas that I'm going to run by you at the end of this video. But first, let's jump into the topic. So this week we're going to be talking about crabs in a bucket. I know you guys know this is one of my favorite things to post about because it's a hard thing to go through, it's a hard thing to deal with, and it's something that if we try to improve ourselves, we're going to have to face it and it's going to make its way to us. So, what crabs in a bucket means, it's this theory that if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, there's going to be some that try to climb out, there's going to be some that just sit in the bottom, and then there's going to be the bad ones, the ones you got to watch out for. The only thing they do is try to stop the ones that are trying to climb out from climbing out. They're not using them as leverage, they're not using it to get out themselves, they're just stopping them from getting out. Now, the reason I love this is going to surround us everywhere we go when we try to grow. And the unfortunate part about it, what you got to watch out for, is it's going to subtly come from the people closest to us, from friends, from family, from your favorite coworkers. And it's hard to deal with, and it's hard to, I guess, approach and get them to stop. And so what I mean by being subtle about it, it's going to be, I use this in fitness a lot, in bodybuilding as an example. It's going to be those people that sit there when you're eating a clean, healthy meal and say, oh, that looks disgusting. I don't get how you can eat that every day. What they're really doing is saying, I don't have the discipline to eat healthy food, so I'm going to make fun of you for doing it and make fun of your food. Or it's going to be the person that says you go to the gym too much, even if you only go for a half hour a day. What they're really saying is, I don't have the discipline to go to the gym every day, and I'd feel better about myself if you stopped. And it's such a hard thing to deal with. It's so subtle, and again, it's going to come from the people closest to you because they're they're jealous that you're bettering yourself. So no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you're doing, if it's growth is the goal, it's going to happen, especially in the business world or just at work. If you're going for that promotion, if you're going above and beyond all the time, if you're trying hard, it's going to happen. And it's going to come from subtle things of your coworkers making fun of you for caring too much, or just because you did something that your boss asked you and you got it done. And it was a kind of an odd request, or I don't want to say odd, but not, I guess, something that's not typically part of your job. They obviously chose you to do it for a reason. They're going to make fun of you for getting the job done and saying that you're sucking up to the boss just because you did that extra task. It's going to be when you have to stay late to take care of a customer, they're going to make fun of you for staying late or, again, caring too much. So it's a really sucky thing to face, and it's going to happen. It's going to surround you because people get insecure when you're trying to grow. I actually was reading a book by Jeffrey Gitmore the other day, the Little Red Book of Selling, and he went over this quote from a French philosopher that said, "If you want to make enemies, excel your friends. If you want to make friends, let them excel you." And that's so true because anytime you start to rise up a little bit above your friends or do something better with your life, they get jealous, they get mad, and they react. But as soon as they're doing something better, then they want to talk about it and they want to celebrate with you, and it sucks so bad. And the best way to get through it, I mean, you can always try to ignore it and just do your thing, because they're not going to stop, to be honest. It might come to a point where you have to bring it with them and say, look, I don't like that you keep doing this or saying these things. I'd really appreciate it if you stop. Or it might even get to a point where you have to be a little, I guess, put your foot down and be a little assertive with them and say, look, I get that you're jealous. I see it. It's obvious because you make fun of me every time I do something good and you have to make some kind of joke about it. I get it. You're jealous. You don't want to see me grow. I've had to do that several times in the past, especially moving up. It's a hard thing to go through and it's uncomfortable, but it's gonna happen. And I guess the reason I want to make this video is to give you guys this awareness that it's gonna happen. And I'll be here if you guys are having this happen to you. Get a hold of me, message me. I'll talk this through with you. If you've had a good example of this and you want to talk about it on here with me, I'd love to have that happen. But I want to let you guys know this is gonna happen, and you got to just ignore it. And if it keeps persisting, if you can't just ignore it, then talk to them. If they still don't listen, put your foot down. Because look, the truth is, if they don't care enough to stop making those comments, if they're even making the comments in the first place, making fun of you for trying to better yourself, then the last thing you should do is worry about hurting their feelings by telling them to stop and by shutting it down. because they obviously don't have much concern about you bettering yourself. So just don't feel bad about asking them to stop. This is going to happen, and I'm going to be here to support you. All right, so I hope this video helps. I hope it's going to bring awareness. And again, I'm here and I want to start a community. So I keep saying that, and that's going to kind of get into some ideas that I have. One thought that I have is to start maybe a Facebook page or a group. I want to see your guys' thoughts on this. Eventually, it's something I'm going to do at some point. I just want to see how fast the ball would get rolling. But the reason I want to start it is a group where we can support each other, where we can all post videos like this and motivate each other. I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there for people that are already in the work their way up really high and kind of teaching us. I don't want this to just be me spewing out at you guys all the time. The point of this is for us to be able to grow together. So we can have a Facebook page of us growing together where we can get rid of that crabs in a bucket mentality. We can get those people just out of the picture, and it's nothing but us supporting each other and hyping each other up. We don't even have to be in the same field. If you're in sales, post on there, guys, I made my biggest sale today. Let's all hype each other up. Or I got that promotion today, or I got recognition from my boss on something I did. Let's get this group going. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. I think it could be a lot of fun. Another thing I'm going to start doing is having some guests on here. I have a couple of coworkers or even some of my customers that buy our products and wholesale them and sell them in their retail stores. I'm going to have them talk about their successes, starting a business, how they handle customers, and what's important to them. So I have some really fun ideas that I want to do with you guys. So that's definitely going to be coming. And that's kind of the big thing. Now that I got this started with your guys' feedback, there's just ideas going all over the place, and that's the whole point of this, is to develop ourselves, to grow, to come up with ideas. And once you start growing, once you start learning, once you start networking, things that were hard to get started, things that were intimidating, like I talked about in my last video, all of a sudden become rewarding, and you can't stop. I told you guys in my first video that I was uncomfortable out of my mind to start this, but I felt like I was having fun with the second one. I loved all the feedback, and now I'm on the third one, and I'm just having a blast with it at this point. And the ideas just aren't stopping. And that's what I meant in the last video, when you got to just take that leap and do something that makes you uncomfortable and just try it out. You never know what you're gonna fall in love with. So I can't wait to keep growing with you guys. I can't wait to get more ideas and get things going. And again, as always, please send me feedback, even criticisms on things. If I ramble too much, if the videos are too long, I know I need to stop swiveling in my chair. I'm trying. For those of you who have said that, I think about it every time I do it now, and you'll notice I stop. So even fun things like that. Again, guys, we're doing this together, and we're all going to be successful together. So I can't wait to hear everything, and you guys have an awesome rest of your day. See ya.